Hello, hello. Welcome back to the mat. Welcome back to Yoga with Paige. Today we have a nice hip opening flow where we unlock those hips, relieve some tension, and we do find it's a little gate pose fun. So we flow through gate pose a lot, meaning you need some space on either side of your mat. We will kind of be moving it around. So keeping that in mind, grab whatever you need for this practice. If you would like to have a block handy, it's pretty low to the ground other than a sun salutation or two in our initial warm-up. So whenever you're ready, we can begin. Starting in a nice easy seat, facing the long edge of the mat. Taking our initial breath to settle yourself in, come into this practice. This is where we are right now. Perhaps close the eyes, relax the shoulders, and just take a big cleansing breath in and out, drawing the navel fully into the spine, expelling all of the air out. Let it go. Take one more breath. And then on your next inhale, raise the arms above the head, keeping the shoulders down, just finding length in the sides of the arms. Palms are facing each other, spread the fingertips wide. Take 2 breaths here, reaching up through the crown of the head. And then interlacing the fingers, palms flip up towards the ceiling, big breath in. And exhale, side bend to the right, peeking under your left shoulder, not going too far, just warming up. One more breath. Inhale, back through center, and exhale to the other side. Keeping that booty rooted and grounded down onto the mat, not letting your sit bones lift up. Back to center, release the hands, grab onto opposite elbows. And now we inhale, lift up, exhale, round through the back, taking your arms in front of the chest, tucking your chin in, holding here, picturing yourself sending the scapula to the back of the room or the side, if you might be facing a different way. On your next breath in, lifting the elbows, still keeping them attached. Find one side bend to the right. Then we're going to round through the front, just like we just did. Curving over to the left, making one big circle. Taking one more to the other side, bending to the left first. Really stretching the skin in the back. Meeting back in center and release, coming into nice cactus arms, drawing the elbows by the sides of the ribs, sending the palms forward. Take a few big breaths here. Just observing the breath. Observe where your mind goes. Observe how the body feels. Exhale, let the fingertips rain down. Coming into bound angle, pressing the soles of the feet together. And sitting up nice and tall. Allow yourself to find some stillness and some silence here. Just letting the breath flow through you. And if you found your eyes closed, then you can blink them back open. Come back to the here and the now. Extend your right leg to the corner of the mat, tucking the left foot in towards the hips. Find what feels good here. Creep the fingertips forward just a bit, flexing this right foot, feeling a nice stretch here. Letting your chest draw forward as you continue to breathe. Inhale, lifting back up, crossing this left leg over the right, finding a nice twist. So hugging your knee with your left arm, taking the right behind you, finding a nice little twist. And now releasing back to neutral spine, taking the left foot to the right inner thigh. You can always scoot back on your mat if you've traveled. Squaring the hips first, inhale, lift up, and exhale, fold. Waking up the calves, the backs of the legs, the hips. Preparing them for this practice ahead. Preparing your mind for the rest of your day. One more breath, maybe go a little bit deeper. Then come back to bound angle. Facing the side of the mat where we repeat everything on the other side. We're here for a few breaths. Maybe you notice a change in your energy or in your physical body. Perhaps. Taking one big breath of stillness, become as still as you can. Exhale. Then lifting the chest, extend that left leg. Right foot tucks into the hips. And we gently fold over. Taking your time. Letting this be a gentle warm up before we get moving. Beautiful. One last breath. Carefully lift up. Come into your twist. Hug that right knee into the chest. Big inhale, lift up. And exhale, twist. Awakening all throughout the spine. Wringing out toxins, wringing out bad energy, wringing out negative thoughts. Coming through neutral spine and folding over your left leg, walking the hands toward the foot, coming back to the breath. Inhale, gently lift back up, and this time tucking your legs underneath to come to a nice tabletop. Spreading the fingers wide, finding your alignment. Before moving through the spine with some cat-cow, inhale, lift the gaze, press through the hands and the tops of the feet. Exhale, round through the back. taking about 3 rounds. In your own time. Before meeting back in neutral spine, gaze between the thumbs. Inhale, peel the right arm up, high, high, high towards the sky. Exhale, thread the needle, coming to lie on the right shoulder. We can stay here, or we have an option to extend the left leg, reaching the heel back, opening up through the calf. And bringing that knee back in if you extended, unraveling, reaching back up, big breath in. Exhale, plant that hand, tuck the toes under, come up into downward facing dog. Your first one of the day, pedal out those feet, let yourself take a moment. Beautiful. Letting the thoughts drift away. And finding a static downward facing dog. Ground down through your left foot, raise the right up high, 3-legged dog. Bend the knee, bring it into the chest, tap the elbow once, back up, 3-legged dog. 3 of these. Beautiful, connecting to the core, really drawing the navel in. And on your third one, stepping through the hands, taking the left foot up to meet the right. Inhale, halfway lift, preparing for a sun salutation, forward fold. Inhale, root to rise, hands come up above the head. They meet at heart center, out breath. Inhale, reach up, look up. Exhale, dive, flat back. Halfway lift. Plant the hands, step it back to a nice high plank. Tuck the elbows in, slowly lower down, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog, cobra, sphinx. Exhale, roll over the toes. Downward facing dog. Dropping down onto the knees. Finding 3 more rounds of cat-cow. Inhale. And exhale. Perhaps starting to feel some heat, generating some heat with all of this movement. Meeting back in neutral spine, peeling the left arm up, and thread the needle. Maybe extending the back leg if you did so on the other side. Active in your stretches here today. Breathe through it. Send oxygen to your muscles, to your brain. Take the knee in. Slowly unravel. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, walk those hands out. Downward facing dog. Pedal through the feet. Maybe bend both of the knees at one time. Downward facing dog. Left leg lifts up nice and high. 3-legged dog. Bend the knee, draw it nice and high in through the chest. Tap the left elbow. Once. Twice. And 3 times. Holding here. Stepping in between the hands. Coming up to the top of the mat. Halfway lift. Inhale, reach through the crown of the head. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise nice and tall. And Anjali Mudra, hands to heart. Notice the heat, the friction. Inhale, reach. Exhale, dive. Halfway lift. Step it back to plank. Chaturanga. Tap the nose to the mat. Inhale, your version. And exhale. Meet back in downward facing dog. This time coming onto your knees, but turning to the wide edge of the mat, coming into our nice gate pose flow. Beautiful. Or you can stay facing the front of the mat if you have extra room or a nice mat underneath like I do. Extend this right leg long. Point the toes to the corner of the mat as you lift up and reach nice and high. Inhale and exhale. Let the right arm slide down the leg as the left comes overhead. Create as much space here as you can. And then flex the foot. See how that changes how you feel. Inhale, reach back up. Plant this right foot. Come into a nice little kind of side lunge. Really sink low into the hip. Hold it here for a few breaths. Allow yourself to get comfortable. Maybe take the hands to the knee. Maybe find a few pulses. And release the fingertips down to the mat, kind of going for a diagonal, reaching the fingertips out wide, sending the hips back. Find where you can feel this deepening sensation. We can stay here. If this is too much, we can always come back up, or we can deepen this by finding a bind, taking your right arm, looping it underneath your thigh, and taking the left behind the back. Gazing up, breathing. Exhale, carefully release. Walk yourself back to center and extend the left leg. Point those toes, reach up. Exhale, side bend, gate pose. One breath like this, and then flex the foot. Coming back up to our gate pose prep. To plant that foot, lunge it to the side. Find what feels good to you. It might look different than mine. All that matters is what it feels like, not the look of it. Breathing. Allowing yourself these moments of rest in between the movement to check in. And when you're ready, if you would like to deepen this, walk the fingertips out kind of diagonally. Still keeping nice active glutes, quads. And taking our optional bind, if you so wish. I encourage you to try it out, even if you think you can't do it. Doesn't matter if you can clasp your hands all the way. You can also use a towel, a strap to bridge the gap until you can reach. You might surprise yourself. All right, last breath. Gentle exhale, gentle release. Coming back up and meeting back in our tabletop in the middle of the mat. Sticking with our theme of extending the right leg first. Coming up in through our gate pose prep. Finding gate pose. Since we know what this is like, we've already been here. And now we're going to find a fun little gate pose bird flow. So find as much movement and fun as you can after we hold here for another breath. This can feel a little awkward, this coming movement, but I find it fun. All right, so sweep this left arm in front of you. Dive down towards the hips. Then come over towards your left, plant your hand, send the hips back a little bit as you reach your right up. Then come back up with your left hand still planted. Send the right leg up as you reach for the ankle. Getting a nice big quadricep stretch, pulling the ankle in through the hips. Find your balance. Use your breath. And then we're going to come back the way we came. So release, plant your right foot, come in through the hips, dive down, and then come back up. Plant the left hand down, reaching the right arm overhead, coming into a little mini side plank modification. Heading into wild thing, so reach the right arm up, stack your feet, and switch your feet. So carefully place the right leg, the knee comes up, plants it right behind you. We can do just a little baby wild thing, just a slight back bend, opening the heart center out. Gorgeous. Hold here, one more breath. Grip through the fingers. Exhale, carefully come back through side plank. Then plant this right foot in front. Step it high and wide. And then reach the right arm back. A little glute release. Windmill the arms around, coming into a high lunge. A runner's lunge, fingertips on the mat. Inhale, drop the left knee down. Low lunge. Beautiful. Let the hips sink down. Allow them to open. On your next exhale, twist to the right, extending through the fingertips. And then reach the left arm overhead. Remembering that if any of this is too much, we can always come back. One breath. And a windmill around, planting the hands on either side. Coming up, we can take an optional vinyasa here, or come back down onto the knees into tabletop, turn to the side, and we can begin again. Whatever your choice, we meet here in tabletop, middle of the mat. Extend the left leg to the side. Inhale, reach up through gate pose prep to our gate pose. Finding a few breaths, maybe noticing how this time it feels different than our first gate pose. As we open and release. And we prepare for our weird bird flow. Beautiful. Sweeping this right arm around, dive the chest down. And plant the right hand, send the hips back. And coming up onto the right hand, reaching for the left ankle. Building your sense of confidence as you stabilize and strengthen. One last breath. And then exit carefully, coming back through the way we came. Dive. Beautiful. And over our side plank variation. Take what you need here. Maybe you stay here and take a little slight back bend that way. Or you come up into a side plank. Finding your balance first. Taking the top leg up. Stepping it carefully right behind you. And opening the heart. Letting the arm drop behind you. Maybe touching the head. Take your last big breath. And then come back through our side plank. To step that left foot in front. And release. Reach for the left foot. Little nectar of the moon pose. All right, coming into your nice high runner's lunge. Take a moment here. Observe. Feel. Release the right knee. Reach the arms up. Big breath in. Drop the shoulders down if your arms are raised. And on your next exhale, twist. Big, big, wide twist, gazing over the left fingertips. And then reaching the right arm over. Big side stretch. Sending those hips down further. And when you're ready, carefully windmill back through. This time, coming onto the knees and onto the belly. Extending the left knee out to the side for a half frog pose. Flexing the foot, we want the knee in line with the hip. And we're going to make a little pillow for ourselves here. So one forearm in front of the other, just focusing on sending the pelvis down into the mat. Finding length in the back of the neck and noticing your breath. Keeping your arms in this little pillow shape, or maybe hand on top of hand, taking this left leg, swinging it over, finding a little twist. So just find what feels good here. We're only here for a breath or two, just wringing out the lower back. Beautiful. Come back onto the belly and extend the right knee out to the side, half frog pose. Feeling your heartbeat. Listening to each inhale and each exhale, letting you know that you are alive, you are safe, you are home. You are complete. And then slightly lifting the head, crossing your right leg over the left, finding your gentle twist. The foot can be touching down, it can be in the air. And coming back onto the belly, bending both knees, finding some windshield wipers. Maybe moving the legs around in circles. Taking anything your lower body needs here. And then extending the legs, taking the hands under the shoulders, pressing up, coming back into child pose. Allowing yourself to melt, to sink, reaching the fingertips forward. Or perhaps sending them by the sides, grabbing on for your heels. Finding a really nurturing, self-soothing hug. Just allowing yourself to relax. Staying in child pose. Or I invite you to lift up, sitting on the knees, taking the hands to the belly, feeling these last breaths. Physically connecting to yourself, to the beautiful, radiant being. Sometimes it can feel easy to lose or lose ourselves, get lost in all of the chaos, but we are always right here. We can always connect back to this breath. Each breath is a new chance. Breathe in nice and deep. And allow your hands to fall towards the knees, letting the shoulders rest. Breathing in and out. And it is here, my dear friend, that I leave you today. And I thank you so much for joining me on the mat for this practice to release and to rejuvenate. I hope to see you again very, very soon. I would love to know your thoughts on this type of class. But until next time, have a beautiful rest of your day.